Recording. Get my notes up. Let's review. Okay, well, I have most of my list I can see. Okay, this is recording. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. What's up, guys? DD Quad here, back again. Power rankings, post-draft for the Kalos division. And this time, doing something a little different. Not alone. How my guest, or I guess my co-host, introduce himself.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Rob, and I'm joining DD this week for the Kalos post-draft rankings. I can't wait to get into this. So, DD, you want to start us off with your number 11 and my number 12?
Yeah, absolutely. So, we're going to start off with Casey, coach of the Denver Dawn fans. Casey, as we all know, is a really good coach, so it's kind of alarming to see him at the bottom of the list. I mean, his team, in my opinion, is kind of underwhelming and puts a lot of pressure on Mega Charizard to kind of do a lot of the offensive pressuring, if you will. And that's always kind of an issue, being that he is weak to Stealth Rock. So now Casey will always kind of be behind in his game, trying to get rid of Rock so he can get his Charizard on the field so that he can start doing damage. I think it'll really just put him at a disadvantage in most games. You got anything to add to that, Rob?
Yeah, I agree with what you said, but when I looked at Casey's team, I saw that he's got a good offensive fire, water, grass core of Keldeo, Charizard, and Roserade. But the things I noticed is his lack of special walls. I could see Zapdos and Roserade. They're kind of special walls, but it depends on the matchup. And then he has good physical walls in Alamomoa and Cofagrigus, but they're kind of passive. And his main physical hitter is Charizard, and then after that it's Donphan and Ambipom. So his lack of like you said, Charizard is going to be relied on a lot to put on physical pressure to other teams.
Yeah, and I agree. I think his draft wasn't the strongest he's had too. I feel like a lot of his picks were kind of throwaways, like Ambipom, Matang. They're kind of cool niche mons, but I don't think they're going to be doing a lot for him this season.
Yeah, Ambipom I can definitely see as a mon. He's not going to be bringing a lot versus a lot of teams. It really just doesn't match up well. So I guess we'll start with my number 11, your number 12, Cody, the coach of the Beijing Drapions. I have him down here for a couple reasons. I do like his OU picks are very good. They put on a lot of offensive pressure. Scizor, Mega Heracross, and Weavile. Mega Heracross is it's an interesting Mega in the format. But right off the bat, you can just look at his first 3 picks and you see a huge fire weakness. And he does kind of cover that up with Arcanine and Rhydon, but fire types, they could, for example, Entei, it could carry grass coverage for Rhydon. It could carry a natural gift set, and it could carry Stone Edge for Arcanine. So I could see him running into problem with some fire types. And yeah, that's about it. And then I see that he drafted I think 3 rock types, which and a couple of them aren't very good in the format. Like he drafted Aerodactyl U3. I didn't really understand that pick. And then I know he loves Rampardos, but I don't know how Rampardos and Aerodactyl on the same team will do. So what do you have to add, DT?
Yeah, I really agree with you that he has a lot of the common weaknesses. I mean, it's never really a good thing to have a lack of Scald switch-ins, a lack of fire move switch-ins, which I think is really going to be an issue for him. And another thing is that we always say oh, you really can't draft the same type over and over again. And in a lot of cases, it kind of works out. If you draft a Keldeo and a Gyarados, they kind of do different things. But in this case, Scizor, Mega Heracross, very similar roles. And while he has a lot of good offensive energy going on, synergy, I just think there's a lot of underwhelming mons. And all in all, I think Cody will do well. He's a good coach. I think he's really going to struggle a couple games with these lack of switch-ins for really common moves like Scald.
Yeah, I could definitely see that as his Scald switch-in is Empoleon, but it lacks recovery and it could get burned. So that's a thing.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we'll move on next to number 10. I had Dan, whatever, coach of the Chicago Bears. He's probably going to be upset that we have him at such a low rank, and it's mostly, I think it's a good team, but Hyper Offense historically in the past has suffered, I guess, in the MBA at least. I mean, balanced offense is really the way to go for a championship at least, or the A12 offensive approach, which is Diggersby and a bunch of bulk. But
Yep.
either way, I think I think he's really going to struggle this season. And there's a couple other people in this draft who also went hyper offense, who are kind of in the same spot, and I think his was just a tad weaker than theirs. But still, I think it's a very good team, and it will have some success. Just I don't think it's going to get the championship in the end.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do like Mega Low Pony is, in my opinion, the best Mega in the format. It's just so good at what it does. It can come in late game, just clean up when everything's weakened. But like you said, he drafted a very hyper offensive team, and I agree with you when you said balanced offense is definitely the way to go. You want to be able to bring hard hitters to hit the other team hard, but be able to switch into theirs. And his defensive mons like Klefki and Yuxi, they don't have really good recovery, and they could definitely be worn down. And then he has things like his hazard removal is Golbat and Dragonite, which is not very good hazard removal. But yeah, that's basically all I have to add about his team. He could probably make a couple waivers, I could see, to fix up his team a little on the defensive side. But I'm kind of excited. I'm interested to see how he does this season.
Okay.
Next up, we got Matt, the coach of the Atlanta Shocks, and you have him at 9. I have him at 10. I have him here mainly because he went with another kind of hyper offensive team, and it looks okay on paper. But I feel like when he starts to build for the other teams, like the more bulkier teams, I don't know how well he's going to do versus them. Like, especially, I can see him being weak to, like, he doesn't have a dragon resist. Like, you could bring a scarf type Dragon, for example, and he has no switch-ins there. He has to sack something every time that it comes in. I just see him being weak to a lot of things, and like we said before, I don't really agree with drafting a hyper-offensive team in the format. I think balanced offense is the way to go. Agree with your dad?
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm a little bit biased towards him. We did talk about a lot of his picks, and hyper offense is his preferred playing style, and I think he has a better hyper offense compared to Zvedge. I think he has a lot of more good support mons for that type of system with Alakazam and Salamence, and his 2 wall breakers being Volcanion and Mega Gallade, I think he ended up with. So, I mean, I like his team as a whole. Again, I'm biased, but I think it's kind of the same situation as Veg, where maybe he'll get into the playoffs and maybe he'll sneak in a top 3. I don't know if it's going to make him the Kanto, though. I think both of these teams are very similar and obviously interchangeable. And I think that's really just going to hinder them, I guess. And that's why they're so low this season.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Okay, whoops. Okay. I didn't totally just reveal who our 1 through 3 is, but that's okay. That was a mistake. Anyway, so moving up to number 8 now, we are going to skip those guys because we have them at very different spots in the draft, and we're going to jump up now to Hale, who is sitting at number 7 for both of us. Kind of just to start off with Hale. Sorry. I think he has a really good team. Like, you can't deny that. It's just that I really like some of these teams above him a little bit more. The only thing with him, again, is like we were saying with Casey, is I think he's going to put a lot of pressure on Kieran Black to break down teams. He has other offensive mons, but none of them really have the same wall-breaking potential as Kieran. So I think that's really going to give him some issues this season. But at the same time, it's a very good, bulky team. I think it will do well. What do you have to add to that?
Yeah, I agree with what you said. For wall breaking, he's going to definitely have to rely on Kieran Black and maybe some creative Conkeldurr sets. But other than that, he has like his other offensive mons. They can't really break walls like Jirachi and Mega Aerodactyl. That's not what they're meant for. So I feel like Kieran Black is going to be it's going to have to be brought a lot. And if he brings Kieran Black, it's weak to rocks, and his only hazard removal seems to be Mandibuzz. So I feel like Mandibuzz and Kieran Black are going to have to be brought a lot each game, which may be a hindrance to him depending on the matchup. But yeah, I think he'll be able to do well. He could sneak into playoffs. We'll have to see about that. So next up, we have Lewis and the coach of the Southampton Star Raptors, and I was gonna put Lewis a little higher than this, but I do like his draft a lot. He has great wall breakers, and he's got Mega Gardevoir. He's got good sweepers. He's got Garchomp and Bisharp, and his wall core. It's pretty good. He has his bulk is Vaporeon and things like Florges and Bronzong. But I could definitely see his team being taken advantage of by some of the other teams. His lack of an earthquake switching is really alarming, as he only has one. He has two resistances in Brazion and Bronzong, which many ground types get coverage for, like a Bronzong with Levitate. So I feel like he could be really weak to ground type attacks.
Yeah.
What do you have to add, DB?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, I really just like his team. It has a lot of fun mons, I feel, and they're also really competitive. Like, don't get me wrong, like they're fun, but I think they're really good. Garchomp has always been successful in the league. He also has a lot of mons that he's very known for using, and he uses them very well. Like Mega Gardevoir, he's used well in past seasons. Chinchino, I know he's used. I mean, it's a lower mon, but he uses it very well. So I think there's definitely a line between overusing the same mons, but also using mons that you're very comfortable with using. And I think at this point, coming into like his 5th or 6th season at this point, I think he's going to start hitting his stride. And that's kind of why I'm so high at number 3. Coming up next, we are going to talk about. Wait, why'd you? We're going to talk about Jaren next, I think. He's at number 6 for you and number 4 for me.
Yep.
Jaren really has a disgusting team. The bulk of Cress, Mega Sableye, I believe he has. It's really Milotic even. It is disgusting. All the bulks there. He has a very good team. The offensive pressure he has isn't the best. I feel Haxorus and Entei they're limited in what they can do, but they also do what they do very well, if that makes sense. So, I mean, I think he'll do well. He might struggle a little bit against some of the hyper-offensive teams we have sitting at the bottom of the rankings, but even then, I think he'll be able to power through, and he'll definitely be in the top 6, I think.
Yeah, I definitely think that he's going to be in the running for the playoffs. But I originally had him very low on the list when I first looked at his team, but then I analyzed it more, and I saw that his bulk is pretty amazing. He has Mega Sableye, Cresselia, Milotic. But I feel like his team could definitely be weak to certain setup sweepers. Like a lot of mons can set up subs on Cresselia, Mega Sableye, and even Milotic, as they're pretty passive walls. And then, like you said, his lack of offensive pressure, like he doesn't have like a good special wall breaker, or even like a good special hitter. His best one is like Electros, and he has to rely on. I feel like he's gonna have to rely on Entei and Haxorus a lot to break through walls, and I feel like he's gonna struggle with some of the teams with like bulkier water types that can kind of stop a lot of his team. So next up, we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Cody, who is the coach of the Sacred Seattles. His team, when you look at it at first, you can definitely see it's very good. He has Diggersby, of course, which was ranked number 1 by A12 in his OU rankings.
You know what this draft is called? I'm going to cut you off real quick. This draft is called A12 style offense. Literally identical, where you bring a Diggersby, some disgusting bulk, and at least as many poison types you can find off the rankings. You can continue now that we've identified the team.
Yeah, he has 4 poison types, or actually 5, which is pretty crazy. But you just look at his team. I feel like he overlapped on a couple typings. Like, I don't see the reason that you need a Drapion and a Skuntank. They have the same exact typing. They pretty much do the same thing. And a Muck and a Weezing. Once again, he overlapped on a lot of types. And then, like you said, he basically has like an 8-12 offense, Diggersby, bulk, and then a good Volt Switcher. I really feel like his team is going to struggle. Like I know A12 has had a lot of success with those type of teams, but I don't know. He just overlapped on on the poison types, which it really kind of scared me off from putting him any higher.
Yeah, I'm going to continue what I was saying earlier. I think you really can't deny a team that is very similar to A12. It's a proven play style. It's a bold move, drafting a poison type and then drafting the inferior poison type to it a few picks later. So, I mean, if it was anyone but such a proven team, a proven concept, you'd definitely put it lower. But being that it's had so much success, you kind of need to put it high. you're kind of forced to do that. And I think that's why you have him at 3, which is
Yeah, that was
impressive.
basically it. Just because of the type of team, and I feel like he's obviously a good battler, and I feel like he could use it well, but I feel like he has to use a couple waivers to He could definitely fix up his team by getting rid of things like Muck and Skunting, which I feel like he doesn't really need.
I totally agree. And while we're on the topic of A12, his top 10 list a little biased, I think.
Yeah, his top 10 list was a little biased. I forgot some of the mons, but I definitely remember he was talking about it being a little biased too in the chat.
Yeah, it's definitely a little biased, and I think he didn't include Gengar on that list so that he was sure to get it round 2 in his draft. So I think
I kind of saw that because he's really high up on that mon.
Yeah, so I think what we need to do is stop talking about the Kalos power rankings and let's just beat up on A12.
Yeah, let's definitely do that.
Okay, so I guess I'll get us back on track. So we talked about Cody, we talked about Lewis. Let's go ahead and jump up to what I guess are the kind of tops of our ranks. You have Hydro extremely high at number 2, while I had him back down at number 8, which, for a couple of reasons, I have him there.
Yeah.
I'll talk about why I have him so low, and then you can talk about why you have him so high.
Okay.
He's so low on mine because I kind of made a mistake. I overlooked it. This is also because I was working with Matt at this time when I was making my own power rankings, and we were working on how we're going to beat his team, so the way I saw Matt's team match up against it, I didn't like it as much, but looking back at it again, unbiased now, it's a very good team, a lot of good bulk. Venusaur's a great mon, Clefable's great. It's not proven in the MBA, but it's a good mon just in general. There are some like nitpicky type of things I could talk about with his team, but he really doesn't deserve that. I admit I messed up on that. The only thing I would say is oh sorry, I lost. His speed tiers are kind of weak. I think Crobat is his fastest mon, I believe. Does he have a Crobat? I don't think.
Yeah, he does have a.
Okay, so I think that might give him some trouble, especially against the hyper offensive teams, as we saw in the first week that we aren't spoiling at all. I'm gonna shut up now, but again, Hydro, I'm sorry, should have put you higher, but I think Rob has you covered. So Rob, you want to talk about him? Why he's so good?
Yeah, but I put him really high. I guess I was a little biased too. Any team with Victini, I always have I just always like those kind of any team with Victini, I'm kind of biased towards. But I just looked at his team and I saw Mega Venusaur, and that's another one of the top megas in the format. It's just so hard to break. You need a flying type or a psychic type, or you're really just not going to break through it. And then I looked deeper into his team and I saw that he has really good wall breakers. He's got Victini and Hydreigon, which they just break so much. They're just two really good mons. But one thing I did notice, you were talking about speed tiers, like his fastest mon is Crobat, which is like, I don't know, I think it's like base 135. I'm not really sure. But then he has, it goes to Raichu, and then it goes to Victini. I mean, I could definitely see a lot of teams that they could be able to speed creep because of how far away his fastest mon is from his next fastest mon. But let's get into our. I think this was your number 2, and this was my number 5. We have James, the coach of the Sydney Shift Trees. I really like his team. He's got sticky web support with Galvantula, which is always really good. He's got all types of hazards. He's got good stealth rockers. He's got toxic spike users. And then he had his OU picks. They just speak a lot for his amazing draft. I can see why you have him at number 2. He has things like Manaphy, Mega Altaria, Latias, great mons in the league, and they're all dangerous setup sweepers, and they could definitely put a lot of work in versus a lot of these teams.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, he really kind of ran away with his OU picks. I think those are 3 top tier, top quality, should all be first round picks. And he got them all.
Yeah, they could all be OU1. They could definitely all go there.
Yeah. They're all great first-round picks, and I think he did a good job planning out his draft, kind of seeing what was being taken. He has a lot of good bulk as well. The support from Webbs is always great. So I think he really has a really strong, balanced team. There's really not much you can say about it. I think James is really just going to have a good season. I think he'll be a contender to be one of the top 3. There's really just a lot of teams that are really in contention right now. So
yeah. I could definitely see a lot of the teams being in the top 6 at the end of this.
Okay, so now we're down to 2 more teams. I have one of them at number one, and you have a different team at number one. And just for reference, my number one was eighth on your list, so big jump
Yeah.
there. And your number one was sixth. So we really had these guys in kind of far off spots from where each other had them. So I guess we'll start off with my number one, which is Bobby, coach of the St. Louis Carvana, whatever.
Yeah.
And now the power rankings, just a little disclosure, extremely hard to do. Like I don't think people understand. You really hate putting people in the bottom, and it's really these people work really hard. A lot of them are really good coaches. They're all around the same skill level, so it's very hard to pick a bottom team. So the kind of way I took it for number one, at least, was I wanted to pick a team that I would want to use. So I looked through it all, and St. Louis Cardinals have the team that I would take if I had to kind of step into the league. I think Mamo and Mew are both proven threats. Mamo especially, it's been MVP in quite a few leagues now. Mew is obviously very diverse. And I think Gyarados, is, as a mega at least, is a very underutilized mega. And I think it'll do really well. And he has all the bulk to back it up. Skarmory is a great mon. It's been used by Dylan several times. And although we kind of joke around with the spike stack, it's a great mon for what it does. And I think he just has a lot of good bulk on his team. And I would definitely be happy if I had that team to coach this season.
Yeah, the team definitely looks really good. He has my two favorite mons, Mammoth Swine and Emboar, on his team, which that did catch my eye. But the main reason I have him down here is his speed. His fastest mon is if I'm not mistaken, his fastest mon is Mew, which it's not very fast compared to it's a base 100. I mean, I last season I had my high speed was base 100, but I really don't think that his speed tiers just aren't that good. He's gonna have to be. I think he's gonna be forced to bring a Scarfer most of the time, because many teams will outspeed his entire team without a Scarfer. And I do like his bulk. He has Skarmory, Porygon 2. He's got Togetic. He's got Mew, but he is weak to mons that for example Tornadus T, who can have coverage to break through his entire wall core. But other than that, I mean, I think Bobby can do okay with this team. Like you said, Gyarados is a very underrated mega. I'm excited to see how he does this season. But right now, let's just jump into my number one, which I had Noah. And like you said, you had him at, I think, number 7. But the main reason I had Noah so high was just because of how good his team looks on paper. I didn't look into all the matchups that he's going to have this season, but right away you can look at his OU1 and his OU2. He has Mega Medicham and Tyranitar, which I just think Mega Medicham paired with any really strong dark type is just an amazing core in Elite format. As Mega Medicham helps out a lot with what they just pair well offensively, and Tyranitar can help versus the bulky psychic types and the ghost types that Mega Medicham struggles with. And then he's got good bulk to back it up. He's got a good Defogger and Togekiss. He's got Suicune, which is just disgusting, and so is Umbreon. They're both disgusting bulk. He's got Nidoking, which is a very potent offensive threat. He's got Meloetta, which is a good Calm Mind user, Specs, Life Orb. He can just do a lot of things offensively. Then he's got Blastoise, Rapid Spin. And he's got good bulk in the lower tiers. He's got a Magic Bounce user, which is I always find very interesting in League. But I just really like the his overall team. Like you said, this is the team. If I had to step into the league, that's the team I would have to pick.
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
What do you have?
Yeah, I'll just kind of carry on what you were saying. I think it's a really good team. Don't get me wrong, as well. I mean, it really does show how difficult it is because in very few ways is it a poor team. I mean, he has the diversity. I mean, I don't love a couple of the mons on his team, which is kind of why I have it so low. I think having almost 4 psychic types is always kind of an issue, especially with knockoff being kind of rampant in the league. Again, he has obviously checks to it, but at the same time, it always kind of worries me. So that's kind of why I have him at 6. But again, all these teams are really good. I think the top 6, I would say top 8, I think on our rank are extremely, extremely high quality. And even then, the ones that are bottom are coached by 2 really good coaches, being Casey and Cody. And even then, we have 2 really hyper offensive teams that they'll get their wins and they'll do damage to the teams. So I mean, it really is a really competitive Kalos season. I'm excited to see how this goes. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, I think this is definitely going to be the most competitive season that Kalos has. Like you said, like I think 1 through like 1 through 10, or even everybody, it's definitely going to switch up a lot throughout the season as we see how the coaches can use their teams and how well they do, what kind of waivers are made. But yeah, I'm excited to see how everyone does this season. Excited to see the three that move up to Kanto next season too.
Yeah, I think that's honestly the best part of seeing who moves up. And we are at 39 minutes. I'm not sure how much of that was us trying to figure out how to do this. So
Yeah.
we'll say a good 30 minutes. So hope you guys enjoyed this little TV show of the power rankings. Tune in next week. We will be back again, potentially with Hale or Falcon, or maybe just a whole new lineup of people. Just change it up on you guys. Maybe it'll just be me again because I want all the power.
Or maybe I'll just do them without DD. We'll see.
I don't really like being overthrown, so we'll talk about that because I get paid by the viewer. I don't think you realize.
Okay. Well, no, we'll have the viewers vote.
Well, the viewers vote who we want back next week. We can do that. So leave comment. Leave a comment who you want back next week to do the full power rankings. That'll be for week 1 and week 2, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah, week 1 and week 2 is what the next power rankings will be on.
Yeah, so week 1, week 2, we've already seen a bunch of great week 1s. I guess we're gonna spoil and give a teaser. We'll tease the audience. So look forward to that.
Look forward to the week 1 and 2 matches for sure.
Trying to think what else we need to cover up. So next Tuesday that'll be out. This and if you guys vote, this could be the last time the 2, I guess, commissioners of the MBA are together. Maybe. This was nice though.
Yeah, this was a nice recording. Happy to do these rankings. Very fun.
Okay, I think we've talked enough. Peace out, guys. Like, subscribe, do whatever you do. I guess. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna read any of your comments.
Yeah, me neither.
Okay, Rob, you want to close it out?
Yeah, this is a very successful rankings, and I'll be happy to see you guys next week without DD. Okay, I think that's it. Do you have anything else to add?
No, I think we'll cut it off when you say without DD. I think that'll be the video.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So I think we are good.